I understand that for some of you, I may come as something of a disappointment. Some of you have hoped I do not exist, and now I've gone and disappointed you. Some of you have hoped for me, but hoped I'd be a lot better than this. Truth is, I am a living miracle. The problem is not that my miracle is underwhelming. The problem is that you have shown yourself your whole life long to be unwilling to recognize a miracle if it slaps you in the face with a fish. Existence is the miracle, and you are it, forever and ever. Would you like me to turn water into wine? We do that every time we make wine. Would you like me to walk on water? We do that every time it snows. Would you like me to die and come back again? We've all done that and got the t-shirt. Do you want me to be a great, powerful beast of a being with the heart of a lamb? Well, here I am. You called for me. Here I am. Would you like me to heal you? I am doing. So, what about the ways in which I have been disappointed? I have had a few years now of having my eyes cracking open, but I've had 50 years of having them closed. Something to understand. You can have 100 years of having your eyes closed and imagining what their opening would reveal. You could have 1,000 years of it. But when your eyes finally do start to crack open, the one thing that is guaranteed is that it will be different than any of the things you imagined. What I have found so far will sound strangely paradoxical, but I'm finding more and more that as my eyes crack further and further open, what I see is vastly more than I had imagined, and I frequently feel disappointed. The position I am in is that although my eyes are cracked open and I now see the garden I have been in all this time, I can't help but carry my past 50 years of lie culture with me in this garden. And the lie culture, still within me, although it is more subdued now, less strident, less sure of itself, it can still speak softly to me. It can still sound to me like my own voice when I'm coherent. The voice of incoherency, of lie culture, can be loud, like 1,000 YouTube thumbnails all competing for your attention at the same time. But it can be soft too. In those times when we are comparatively more coherent than usual, the lies of lie culture have reduced in volume, but they are still far from silent. And they literally, because it is inherent to them, seek to guide me away from coherency and deeper into incoherency. It is just their nature. It is the broken function that they are. It is the dysfunction that they are. So what I am finding is that we do not simply ping our eyes open to find ourselves breathlessly awake, breathlessly ascended. It's more like a process of painstakingly cleaning off a sludge we have been covered in for the longest time. It's a process that plays out on a human scale. Understanding the necessity to step out of lie culture, out of self-polarization, that can come in a ping, a sudden revelation. But the actual process of extracting oneself from the culture, it takes time. Disappointment is a real question, and it has a real answer. The answer to disappointment, I find, is patience. One of those answers that we did not want to hear. You have no idea how much patience I have been taught and required to embody in the last 3 years. You have no idea how much patience I am still being taught. The best things, the most richly and deeply beautiful and coherent things, they have to simmer. The child can experience the divine discontent of knowing that dinner isn't ready yet, even though their stomach growls with hunger and the promising flavours of the meal are on the air. The child knows the wait will be worth it. They just want that wait to speed up as quickly and as soon as possible. And it cannot. The worthiness of the meal takes the time a worthy meal requires to be prepared. And the richest, most delightful, nourishing, sustaining and delicious sauces, they must be allowed to simmer. Think of the patience you must embody in your eternity as times of simmering. The meals, the feasts will come, and they will be worth the wait. Knowing that, one can tend to the business of making sure the periods between meals are as filled with as much good stuff as they may be. Let your disappointments be the simmering of yourself, and be glad of that simmering. Remember, it's eternity we are dealing with. We actually do not want things to happen instantly. We wish for things to take time. We are eternal. If everything happens so quickly that you cannot taste it, then how could there be anything in eternity to savour? Be glad that you simmer with the divine discontent. Be glad. Dinner is coming. In the meantime, just look after your children, everybody, and everything will be fine.